She wants to, going back to this Lidia Thorpe, she wants to question, quote, the illegitimate occupation of this country, and for people to know, quote, whose land they're on, and that the first people, quote, never ceded sovereignty. I just want to ask you again plainly, Pauline, Senator Hanson, should such a person be sitting in the National Parliament?
I totally disagree with it, because that's not what our forefathers believed in when they drafted that constitution in the late 1800s, that it should have people on the floor of Parliament trying to represent all of Australians. What she purports is not equal to the rest of the, as I said before, Ellen. I think she is divisive. Talking about sovereignty, they haven't handed it over. You know, for everything that she's gained and sitting in the Qantas lounges and flying on the planes and everything, that came about because of the English background, and other Australians had migrated here, not from the Aboriginal community. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. And yet she wants to actually divide this nation and say, because you're white, we're not going to represent you. You don't deserve representation, but we'll take your pay packet and all the privileges that goes with it.
If, as Jacinta Price rightly says, this woman doesn't see herself as an Australian and doesn't see herself as being represented by the Australian flag, is she the right person to be representing Australian people?
Lidia Thorpe, I don't believe that she should be representing the Australian people. If she doesn't represent or acknowledge or respect the Australian flag, what is she doing in the Parliament of Australia? And why people keep voting for her. I am so happy to see Jacinta Price enter the Parliament. I really like her ideas, her thoughts. We're very much on the same page. And Jacinta has acknowledged that she's quite looking forward to working with me. So with Jacinta and I, you know, we're not going to let Lidia Thorpe get away with the load of rubbish that she has in the past, because no one wants to actually challenge her.
Pauline, before Julia Gillard's government changed the definition of sedition, I mean, it's a very serious point, this, in 2011, sedition was defined under the Criminal Code as, quote, conduct that tends towards rebellion against the established order, or subversion of the Constitution, or incitement to discontent with established authority. Now, Julia Gillard's government changed the definition, replacing all of that with, quote, urging violence. Don't we need to reinstate the definition of sedition as conduct which incites discontent with established authority, or conduct with the potential to lead to rebellion against the established order? I mean, and if we don't do that, what? We need a new definition, don't we?
I couldn't agree with you more, Alan, and that's what we need to do. These Greens, the people that are voted in under the Greens, have their own agenda, and it's not for the majority of Australians. It's about to divide this nation. I feel that we are in for rocky road for the next 3 years till the next election. People have voted for Labor, controlled by the Greens Parliament, and if they don't have the numbers, they will get Jackie Lambie, who 80% of the time votes with the Labor and the Greens. We are going to see so much strife this nation. You're going to see that there is going to be power shortages, outages, your cost of living is going to increase. You know, where is the money going to come from? I can see taxes being increased as well. I think the people need to realise who they voted in and rethink this. Ellen, the problem is that the kids are being brainwashed in the educational system. They're coming through with this green agenda on their minds. They're saving the world, and therefore will vote green. I hope they don't get together and want to lower the voting age, which the Greens do, to 16 years of age. That's another thing people need to consider.